Hello loyal subbies! Thought I'd throw in a quick tutorial on how to make chocolate writing bags to write on your own cakes. It adds such a personal touch and it lets the person you've toiled over making a cake for know that they're extra special. In the Cakery, we offer this as a free service to all of our customers and they love being able to tell us their special messages. You'd be surprised on some of the messages we are asked to write on the cakes, and not all of them are PG. I want to show you this for two simple reasons. One, it's a great skill to add to your ever-growing arsenal of cake skills. And two, because all of your family and friends are going to be mega impressed by the fact that little old you wrote on a cake especially for them.
Actually, it's probably the best option.
So let's take a look at the basics you'll need to have. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to show you how to make the paper cone. What we're going to do now is go back. Start off by folding a piece of your baking paper over into a right angle triangle. Cut with scissors or with a knife on a cutting board along the folded edge. It needs to be even when you fold the triangle in half at the top of the longest edge. Opening it up, grab one of your acute angles at the tip and roll it down to meet the bottom point. Now hold both of the points in one hand while you grab the lonely angle to meet up with his friends. Well done, guys, you've just made a paper cone, or a dunce cap. Turn your cone upside down and fold the ends inside of the cone. See how tightly my seam sits against the rolled cone? That also helps to lock in the tip of the cone so nothing can leak out. Now that you have your cone ready to go, grab your chocolate and your chosen oil and melt it in the microwave for 20 to 30 seconds. No more, otherwise your chocolate will burn in one area of your bowl and you cannot recover from burnt chocolate. In between the heat bursts, mix the chocolate oil mixture until you have a beautiful runny pouring consistency. The reason I use oil with my chocolate is that it helps the chocolate to remain in a runny consistency for a longer period of time, especially in winter. When you're ready to pour your chocolate into the bag, there are a few ways that you can do it. If you have a small measuring cup and a funnel, you can nestle the cone inside of that and Bob's your uncle. If you have a bench scraper like mine with a roll handle, stand him up on his side and pop your cone into the handle hollow. This is my chosen method when I'm at the Cakery because it's just so easy to do. Or if you happen to have a spare hand of a cameraman handy, grab it and put it to good use. However you get your chocolate into that bag is up to you. Once it's in, grab the bag by the seam to keep it tight, because now that it's got something heavy pulling it, the tip of the cone tends to want to open up. It's your job to make sure that it doesn't happen. We're going to be closing up the bag by folding both corners away from the seam and rolling down the center part, again away from the seam, which creates tension and a leak-proof bag. Last but not least, we get to cut the tip. Now this may seem like a little thing, but think of it like your preference in the thickness of a ballpoint pen that you like to use. Do you write with a fine tip? Cut a small hole. Or do you prefer a medium tipped pen? Then cut a bigger hole. Once you've mastered how to make the bag, you'll want to find a surface that you can practice on. We use our stainless steel benches because it's easily cleanable. But if you have a marble slab or a flat plate, that will work just as well. I hold my chocolate bags with my thumb and 2 first fingers of my writing hand, and then I use the forefinger from my other hand to steady the bag and guide my lettering. You can't write as elegantly without the two-hand approach in my eyes. It just gives you more control, period. And who doesn't love a bit of control now and again? You can also print out the alphabet in your chosen font and lay it underneath a sheet of baking paper and trace the letters to practice your writing skill, because trust me, it is not the same when you're writing with a pen. When I first started writing on plates and cakes, my boss at the time had me do 200 rows of the alphabet so I could create what's called motor memory. The theory behind this is the more you perform a certain task, the easier it gets for your brain to remember the task without so much conscious effort. And once your brain remembers the how-to, then it's easier to add more difficult skills such as flowery fonts and filigree work. I like to hold my piping bag a few centimeters up from the surface and start to squeeze the bag. The rope needs to be free and loose to be able to have control over its form, or your letters will look shaky. Let the rope hit the surface and then drag it into the shape you want it. If you don't have this hanging rope, it will be hard to get your letters even and loopy. Oh, and don't forget to dot your I's and cross all of your T's. This one almost got missed. There are plenty of ways to use up the chocolate bags after you've finished writing, like adding squiggly lines to the tops of cakes. So, there you have it, my friends. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this tutorial and can start personalizing the beautiful cakes that you make. If you liked my video, click on the thumbs up icon as usual and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, write them down in the comments below and I'll answer them as quickly as I can. If you'd like to know when new videos are coming out, turn on your notifications. Happy decorating! And if you have some finished cakes that you want to show me, please post them on Facebook and Instagram and tag Jillian's Cakery. Until next time, take care and tell the people closest to you that you love them. Bye. People you love. I'm ready. I was born ready, baby. Light up the stage and like a candle.